Absolutely. Here's a powerful, gripping opening in the style of Eric Thomas to grab your audience's attention immediately and convince them to stay locked in for the full speech. Train your habits, shape your destiny. Listen to me, lock in. Because what I'm about to say might be the one thing that shifts the entire direction of your life. You didn't stumble into this speech by accident. You're here because something inside of you is tired. Tired of the cycles, tired of waking up every day knowing you're capable of more, but not knowing how to reach it. You're sick of it. I know you are. You ever look in the mirror and feel that pit in your stomach? That frustration, because you see the gap between who you are and who you were born to be. You're grinding, but you're not growing. You're busy, but you're not becoming. Let me tell you something. Your problem is not your dream. Your problem is your daily, yeah, I said it. You don't need another vision board. You don't need another motivational quote saved in your phone. You need habits. You need trained behavior. Because until your habits align with your vision is a fantasy. You got destiny in your DNA, but destruction in your daily routine. You got greatness in your spirit, but you keep feeding it garbage with your habits. How you gonna be legendary when your habits are lazy? How you gonna walk into your calling when your calendar is filled with distractions? I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to hype you up for 10 minutes just so you can crash back down tomorrow. I'm here to tell you the truth. Your life is a reflection of your patterns, not your potential. So if you're real about growth, if you're serious about change, then stay with me. Because over the next few minutes, I'm gonna break it down, step by step, how to train your habits. So you can finally step into the life you were meant to live. Not the life you settled for. Not the one you were conditioned into. The one you were born for. Don't zone out. Don't scroll. This ain't background noise. This is your breakthrough. Let's go. You keep asking how to change your life, but let me flip that back on you. What are you doing every single day? Because that's your answer. That's your mirror. That's your scoreboard. You think you're gonna just arrive at your dream because you want it bad enough. No, you don't get what you want in life. You get what you repeat. You get what you train. You get what you consistently do, not what you occasionally hope for. See, most people are chasing results, but they don't understand that results are the byproduct of routine. You're looking at successful people, wondering how they did it, thinking it's luck or talent or some secret. They're just locked in on a set of habits that are designed to win. It's not magic. It's not some hidden code. They made success automatic. They didn't have to get motivated every morning. They built a life where the habits carry them when motivation dies. But you want to live like a champion, but your habits are still comfortable. You want to break records, but your routines are soft, and I'm not judging. I'm just being real. You've got to stop letting your feelings decide your future. You've got to stop waiting for inspiration to build consistency. Destiny doesn't respond to emotion. It responds to execution. The difference between people who get results and people who stay stuck is this. One group trains their habits, the other trains their excuses. You ever notice how easy it is to fall into the same cycles? You say, tomorrow I'll start. Next week I'll be better. But when you wake up, you do the same thing. You hit snooze again. You scroll again. You procrastinate again. And by the time the day's done, you've repeated the same version of yourself you said you were done with. That's not a mistake. That's a habit. You've trained yourself to hesitate. You've trained yourself to fold when it gets hard. You've trained yourself to talk big and act small. But here's the good news. Just like you trained yourself to lose, you can train yourself to win. You can build new patterns, brick by brick. You can rewire your system. You can install discipline. It starts with one action, one small shift, and you lock it in until it becomes second nature. You don't need to see the whole staircase, but you do need to take that first step every single day without fail. Because that's how the blueprint works. Consistency is the architect of transformation. You keep thinking life is gonna reward you for your potential. It's not. Life doesn't pay you for how good you could be. It pays you for what you do repeatedly. What are you rehearsing every day? Because your future is rehearsing with you. Your dream is following your habits, not your hopes. You can't post greatness if you live in weakness. You can't expect a different destiny when your routine is built for average. I'm telling you right now, your habits are either your armor or your anchor. They're either protecting your future or dragging it down. You choose. You build the blueprint. You decide what gets reinforced and what gets rejected. That's the power you have, but you've got to be honest with yourself. What habits are you practicing that keep you small? What patterns have you normalized that are quietly killing your progress? You can't grow if you won't confront. Let today be the day you stop negotiating with your old self. Let today be the day you decide that your habits will reflect the life you deserve, not the one you've tolerated. Because I promise you, once you train your habits will train your results. Your energy will shift, your confidence will grow, your clarity will sharpen, the world will start responding differently to you. Why? Because you're no longer living by default. You're living by design. So if you want to shape your destiny, you better start shaping your day. Let me say something that might shake you a little bit. You are not your past behavior. You are not your worst mistake. You are not the sum of your bad habits. You're just someone who hasn't trained a new identity yet. That's it. You're not broken. You're untrained. You're not weak. You're undisciplined. Stop telling yourself lies that chain you to your old life. You've repeated the wrong pattern for so long, it's become your truth. But it's not who you are. It's just who you've practiced being. And the moment you decide to show up differently, everything begins to shift. See, people think discipline is about punishment. They think it's about restriction. Nah, discipline is about freedom. Discipline is the only thing that separates potential from performance. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you don't show up with discipline, you'll never cross the finish line. Dreams are free, but the grind is what costs, and the price, it's paid daily through action. Through routine, through locking in on the hard days when your emotions try to hijack your execution. You want to transform your life, then you've got to start by transforming how you see yourself, because behavior flows from identity. If you keep saying, I'm not consistent, you'll keep acting inconsistent. If you say, I'm not a morning person, then guess what? You won't be. You are reinforcing a version of you that no longer deserves to live in your space. You can't build a new life with old labels. Rip that tag off. Write a new name. Start calling yourself what you want to become. Say it with your chest. I am disciplined. I am focused. I am relentless. I don't break under pressure. I build in it, but don't just say it. Prove it. Every single day. You prove it by getting up when you want to stay down. You prove it by pushing through when quitting would be easier. You prove it by doing the small things with big effort. Stop trying to feel your way into discipline. Act your way into it. Train your identity through action, repetition, sacrifice. Rewire your nervous system to respond to struggle with strength, not softness. Listen, there's gonna be days when your mind says, we don't feel like it today. And that's the moment that defines you. That's the moment when most people fold, but not you. You don't serve your feelings, you lead them. You don't wait to be in the mood to be great. You've trained yourself to be great anyway, and over time that's what becomes your truth. Not just what you do, it's who you are now. You walk different. You talk different, you attract different. Why? Because your discipline has built a new identity, and that identity pulls you toward your destiny. Look around. Every high achiever, every champion, every person who made something out of nothing, They all had one thing in common. Discipline redefined them. Not talent, not hype, not luck. They trained their old patterns until their new identity became undeniable. You can do the same. You don't have to wait to feel ready. You just have to start being ready by choice, over and over, until what used to be hard becomes your new normal. You think people are born confident. No, they build confidence through keeping promises to themselves. You want self-respect. Then do what you said you were gonna do when it's hardest to do it. You want to feel strong. Then stop giving yourself the easy way out. Take control. Take ownership, because every time you choose discipline over comfort, you're casting a vote for the future you, the one you actually want to meet, the one with the results, the one with peace, the one with purpose. So don't let your current self keep holding the mic. Cut him off. Silence the old voice, because the new you, the real you, the one built through discipline, that version's waiting on you to stop talking and start training. Everybody wants to add. Everybody wants the success formula. Everybody wants the blueprint to greatness, the 5 a.m. routine, the optimized mindset, the secret strategy. But let me be real with you. Before you even think about adding something new, you've got to get serious about subtracting what's killing you. Yeah, I said it. Because the reason most people stay stuck isn't because they don't know what to do. It's because they refuse to let go of what's holding them back. You want to talk about growth. Let's talk about elimination. Because the habits that are silently robbing you of your future are the ones you've gotten comfortable living with. You keep asking why you can't stay focused, why you can't stay locked in, why your energy is always off. But you won't look in the mirror and confront the garbage that you let take up space in your life every day. You keep feeding the old version of you and expecting a new version to show up. That's not how it works. You can't plant weeds and expect flowers. You keep saying you want to be great, but your phone gets more attention than your vision. You say you want to be focused, but you scroll away your discipline, one reel, one post, one meaningless notification at a time. You want to change, but you still entertain people who speak death over your dreams. You still stay up late binge, watching stuff that does nothing for your purpose. You still put yourself in environments where weakness is normal and laziness is justified, and the worst part, you know it's draining you, but you won't let it go. You can't build a new life while protecting the distractions of the old one. Some of y'all are trying to run full speed into your calling with ankle weights called habits, called friends, called excuses. And you wonder why you feel tired all the time, why progress feels heavy. It's not that the dream is too big, it's that you're dragging too much dead weight with you. You've got to cut it loose. You've got to have the courage to say, if it doesn't push me forward, I don't need it, period. Before you add more books, more podcasts, more planners, more goals, delete some things, clear some space. Greatness doesn't happen in clutter. It happens in clarity, and clarity comes when you stop trying to do everything and start focusing on doing the right things. And let me be clear, the right things don't always feel good. They won't always get likes. They won't always be fun. But they'll build the foundation for the life you say you want. See, everyone talks about building new habits, but almost nobody wants to do the hard part, breaking the old ones, and breaking old habits is war. It's uncomfortable. It requires you to sit in the silence, to confront the urges, to feel the resistance and push through it. And that's why most people avoid it. They want results, but they don't want withdrawal. They want the glory, but not the grind of unlearning what's no longer useful. You can't rewire your brain while still giving it the same inputs. You've got to interrupt the cycle, break the pattern, wake yourself up from autopilot. You can't afford to keep casually repeating the same toxic behaviors and acting surprised when your life doesn't change. You've got to become obsessed with deleting anything that doesn't match the version of you you're trying to build. Let me ask you this. What would your life look like if you cut the distractions, cut the fake urgency, cut the laziness, cut the comparison, cut the toxic relationships, cut the self-sabotage? What would be left? I'll tell you, room for growth, room for excellence, room for peace, room for consistency, room for the real you to finally show up and lead. You've been training bad habits for years. That's why they feel normal. That's why change feels unnatural. But the moment you stop feeding them, the moment you take your power back and say, no more, is the moment your life starts to breathe again. You can't conquer what you refuse to confront. So stop hiding behind routine. Stop protecting your patterns. Cut it at the root. Delete what's weakening you before you even think about what's next. Because you can't elevate while you're still anchored. You keep losing momentum because you're relying on emotion. You keep waiting for motivation to knock on your door before you act. And that's the exact reason why you're stuck. Let me tell you something. Winners don't wait until they feel like it. Winners don't need to be in the mood. Winners train their habits so deeply, so consistently, that execution becomes instinct. It becomes second nature. They don't need hype. They've got systems. They don't rely on emotion. They've got execution. You ever notice how the average person only moves when it's convenient? They work hard only when life feels light. They're disciplined only when it's easy. But the greats move through the mud. They show up in the rain. They train when no one's clapping. They lock in when it's boring, when it's painful, when it's lonely. Why? Because they've trained themselves to execute, not to negotiate. See, if you only work when you feel like it, you'll never build consistency. And if you never build consistency, you'll never build momentum. And without momentum, you're restarting every single day, spinning in circles, full of effort but empty of results. You can't lead your life off emotion, because emotions are liars. One minute they're hyping you up, the next they're telling you to quit. You can't trust them. You've got to trust what you trained. That's why you train. That's why you build habits. So when your feelings disappear, your standard still shows up. You think the people at the top are always inspired? No. Most days they're tired. Most days they're drained. But they still move. They still perform. They still execute. Because the mission is bigger than the mood. The purpose is stronger than the pain. The vision outweighs the resistance. They made a decision. And that decision doesn't expire when emotions shift. It stays. It holds. It commands behavior. That's what separates average from elite. And let's be real, you've got a vision too. You've got a dream, a goal, a fire in your chest. But the problem is, you've got the discipline of someone who's just interested. You don't act like it's life or death. You show up when it's pretty, when it's convenient. But when it gets gritty, you disappear. When it gets hard, you delay. That's why your breakthrough keeps slipping through your fingers, because you're still training emotion, not execution. It's time to make a shift. It's time to stop chasing feeling and start mastering follow through, because discipline is not about intensity. It's about consistency. It's not about showing up big once. It's about showing up every day, even when you feel small. It's about hitting the reps when no one is watching. It's about doing the work when the applause is gone and the pressure is high. Execution lives in the shadows, and only those who are willing to grind in silence ever get the results loud enough to change the world. You don't need more passion. You need more reps. You don't need more fire. You need more follow through. That's the difference. Because if you train your mind to execute regardless of the circumstance, you'll become unstoppable. The pain can't stop you. The fear can't stop you. The distractions, the delay, the discomfort. It can't shake you. Why? because you're not led by feelings anymore. You're led by focus. This is what high performance looks like. It's boring. It's repetitive, it's ruthless, but it works. Because when the world throws chaos, you don't break. You revert to your training. You snap into routine. You don't guess what to do. You know what to do. You do what you trained. That's why every habit matters. That's why every morning, every rep, every hour you stay locked in. It matters because your destiny isn't built in the moments when you feel powerful. It's built in the moments when you feel nothing and still choose discipline. So the next time your mind says, "I don't feel like it," you answer back with action. You don't pause. You don't rationalize. You move. You execute. Because your future isn't asking you to feel ready. It's asking you to be ready, and the only way to be ready is to train until it's who you are.